Oregon. We are so happy to see you here today. Wherever you are watching us on Zoom, I can see some of your beautiful faces on Facebook, on YouTube, on the website, wherever you're seeing us and whenever you're seeing us, we welcome you. And we welcome you whoever you are and however you are showing up in this world. We welcome people of color. We welcome our LGBTQ family. We welcome people who speak other languages if they can understand ours or if they just want to watch us here. We welcome our deaf community. We welcome everyone. We are an inclusive community, and we invite you to say our mission statement together with us right now. We are a vibrant, welcoming, multi-generational, prosperous community embodying love and awakening spiritual consciousness. And let's start out with Soul Shine.
Start our day with love because we need more love lately.
Dang right we do.
Love is love, baby. Let's go.
I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of, is love.
Love, love, love.
Love, love, love.
Sing that out loud. Come on.
Love, love, love. Love, love, love.
More love, more love.
Love, love.
I start my day. Here we go.
Think I'm gonna dance now. Start my day with love. Gonna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love. I start my day with love. Gonna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love.
Love, love, love.
Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Start my day with love. Gonna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love. Start my day with love. Gonna start my day with love. That's what I get more of, is love.
Here we go. Love, love, love.
Love, love, love.
Yeah, yeah.
Love, love, love.
Let me show you what I'm talking about, y'all.
Love, love, love. Love, love, love.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I start my day with love.
Rain is out there giving us claps on the airwaves, and we really appreciate being able to see all of you. Let's turn our attention over to celebrations. Claire has got some surprises for us.
Well, good morning, Unity family. This morning I am celebrating my new hairdo. Thanks to Manissa. So I actually found that I had no idea what to wear today. I thought, oh man, so I just threw on my red scarf and said, you know, whatever, I'm not sure. And I went digging in the box that Manissa has brought me, and lo and behold, there was this awesome hair for me to wear. So, and it matched my red scarf. So you see, divine intervention happening already this morning. So I kind of threw you guys off because I posted on social media. I did the post for asking for celebrations. I posted it last night, so I didn't get many responses. I have a few quick ones, but I have actually a little something else planned. So I'll go through our quick ones. So Victor's super excited that the Steelers are playing today, so and getting in the playoffs. And then I'm not celebrating this for you, Sylvia, but if Sylvia's watching, I know she was really excited about watching the Seahawks yesterday, and we won't talk about that. So, and then Jane is celebrating going on a beautiful snowshoe with her daughter and her grandson. And I got up into the snow. If you guys have not been up to the snow yet, up to the mountains, it is so beautiful up there. I highly recommend it. And then Ron Kurtz was celebrating this morning, just again reigniting his love of getting to be a spiritual being, having a human experience, and just always on that quest for deeper meaning, deeper spiritual connection. And so a couple things I wanted to do, because we've had a lot of chaos in our world, and we were actually having an amazing board retreat yesterday. And one of our board members, Rhett, said, you know what, there's a lot of good happening in this world, and no one's talking about it. That's not what we're seeing right now. So what I want to do is just have all of you close your eyes for a minute, take a deep breath, and I want you to think of something that you are celebrating, something you are so grateful for, and some beautiful thing in this world and in your life right now. And just breathe that in for a minute. And focus on the beautiful, loving energy that brings. Because there are so many amazing, beautiful things happening in this world. Amazing people, our amazing planet, the trees, the blue sky, our puppies, our children. So just hold that in your heart today, or as long as you can. And whenever you need to, come back to that place and think about that. That's one of the greatest gifts that unity gives us, right? We get to remind ourselves of that every second of every day. So the other thing that I wanted to I've been reflecting on this week is how lucky I am to get to come into this sanctuary with this wonderful group of people, these amazing musicians, and with Jane and with Mita and Kalinda and Manissa and my beautiful son and husband, and I get to come in here and be in this sanctuary of love that our family has created. And I am so grateful, and I just want to remind you that I want to send that energy out to you. For those of you that haven't been able to come in here for a long, long time, we are sending that loving energy out to you. And again, remind you to come and visit the Labyrinth and just be here and know that our family and our collective love has created the energy in this space here. So I'm so grateful for that. Okay, and now here's my big celebration. I am celebrating my husband because for Christmas he gave me, for the month of January, the whole month, he will do all the cooking and all the cleaning. So, and he has really shown up in a big, big way for that. I know some of you, women at home are going, oh, I don't want my husband to do that. I don't want him cooking dinner for me. We'd be eating top ramen or hot dogs every night. So, however, let me show you. So some nights, this is what I get for dinner. Some frozen Chinese puffballs and carrot sticks. Okay, but then most nights, this is what I get. Oh, let's see, roasted pork shoulder and roasted Brussels sprouts and squash and some rice. And then last night, you know what, yesterday? I requested some homemade cookies. And look at what he made for me last night. Some ginger molasses cookies. So I'm just saying, ladies, he's already taken. But he's pretty awesome and showing up in a big, big way. So, because he knows my love language is, what is it again, honey? Acts of service. See? And so he's doing lots of acts of service. So we are ready to pass it on to Jane. I want to say first, though, that I actually received, I was checking emails this morning, and I received an email from her at 1 a.m. this morning. So she was either really excited about her talk today, or she may fall asleep halfway through because she was up at 1 a.m. So let's see what she has in store for us. Have a beautiful week.
It It is true. It is true. And Claire, you set us up so beautifully for prayer. So let's just keep going with that energy of gratitude and appreciation. Because, there's a line that St. Paul wrote in one of his letters to his communities in the first century. He said, if there is anything that is good or true, think on that. There is plenty in our world that we are horrified with right now. We are grieving. There is just so much I could itemize, but we know what that is. And the unity teaching, so in line with what St. Paul said, is that as we lift our consciousness to a beautiful level of what is true, what is love, what is life, what we have to appreciate, we change the vibration of our world because we are microcosms of the whole. So while we hold in our heart, take our attention and bring it into the light of gratitude and love. Let us claim that this light is eternal and it is everywhere. When we say the prayer of protection each day at the end of the service, those words mean something. There is only one power. It's not the power of uproar and chaos. It's the power of love and life. That is the one power, and we are that. And as we know that, we know it for ourselves and we know it for all. We raise the vibration and we open the door to possibilities that might not otherwise be able to show up. So let's move into song and just seal this prayer with music.
Breathe in and know I am. Be still and know I am. Let go and know I breathe in and know I am. Be still and know I am. Let go and know I
That was beautiful. Let's say together, love is our ultimate reality, everywhere present and whole. It radiates abundantly and continually creates good in my life and in the world. As we gratefully acknowledge the presence and power of love now, We see the people and circumstances we hold in prayer healed and illumined by love, and so it is. And I encourage you to fill out those prayer claim forms and let us pray with you. It makes such a difference. Prayers truly are answered. Let's move into meditation now. As we just breathe, let's focus on each breath that comes through us. We remember the first breath, maybe not with our cognitive minds. Perhaps we've had the joy of holding a baby, taking their first breath. It's such a privilege to be here, breathing. One of the gifts of COVID is being reminded that breath is not to be taken for granted. Into another form. But this moment now, we get to breathe. We get to show up here on this earth that is breathing us. So let us just breathe together with gratitude and love. And now we just bring our attention back with such deep appreciation for who we are and that we get to be here together. Let's move into song.
Had an apartment in the city. Me and Loretta like living there. It had been years since the kids had grown a life of their own and left us alone. John and Linda live in Omaha. Joe is somewhere on the road. We lost Davy in the Korean War. Still don't know what for, don't matter anymore. You know, old trees just grow stronger, and old rivers grow wilder every day. Old people just grow lonesome, waiting for someone to say hello in there, hello. Me and Loretta, we don't talk much more. She sits and stares through the back door screen. All the news just repeats itself like some forgotten dream that we both seen. Someday I'll go and call up Rudy. We work together at the factory. But what should I say when he asks what's new? Nothing, what's with you? Nothing much to do. You know old trees just grow stronger, and old rivers go wilder every day. Old people just grow lonesome, waiting for someone to say hello in there. Hello. So if you're walking down the street sometime and spot some hollow ancient eyes, please don't just pass them by and stare as if you don't care. Say hello in there. Hello.
That was beautiful, Victor. Thank you. If you're alone in there, wherever you are, we want to say, we see you. You are not alone. This is your community. And we care about you. The idea that I had for this talk about the power of seeing actually came from an uncomfortable situation. The board and I put out a letter that hopefully those of you who are members received it and read it. And in that letter, we made an attempt to see all of you who have contributed in so many different ways to our community's robustness and ability to withstand this pandemic and the isolation that it has caused. And I received a response from one individual who has been an amazing person in our community, who has contributed on so many levels. And she was upset in this letter. She felt insufficiently seen, and she felt that there were others who had not been recognized, who deserved to be recognized. And some people had been recognized that maybe had been given credit for something they didn't do. And she was upset with that, and she felt like I or we had not sufficiently seen those who were to be seen. So naturally, my first response was defensive, and I was the victim. And don't you know how busy we are and how much time we put into all of this? And, so I got that one out of my head. And then I started thinking about, why is this showing up in my life? Where is there medicine for me in this uncomfortable comment and displeasure? And as I was thinking about it, I thought about the human desire to be seen. I want to be seen. I want to be seen in a positive light. And I know that that's true for you. It is a core human need to be seen and valued for who we are. And when people do not see us, or they see us in a negative light, we hurt. And so I share that with this person and with all of you. And I kept feeling into it. What else is there? And I thought about, where am I insufficiently seeing? not just this situation, but in other ways. And I thought, in general, I am really good at seeing what people do well. I'm not so good at seeing flaws. It's like the three monkeys: see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. I tend not to notice that. And I have told myself that this is because I'm so wonderfully compassionate. Pat myself on the back. But it isn't always the case. It's important that we also see the underbelly, the dark side of things. This week in our nation, as if we hadn't already seen enough, we got another look at some realities that are not pleasant, and they are true. And what it really underscored for me, I mean, it was horrifying on so many levels, but what it really underscored for me, and I think for many other people, is the underlying flaw of race. We cannot pretend not to see the racial inequity in our country. I was listening this morning to a man, Resmai Menachem. He has a new book coming out about structural abolitionists. Structural abolition, I think is the name of it. He's still working on the book, but this was a podcast on Sounds True. He's a black man who is a psychologist, and he stands in that cultural space and works with trauma. So he's talking about cultural trauma. And he's saying that it goes back to the 1600s when the 5 superpowers of the day made the decision that whiteness was the standard, the structural standard for being human. And we have not rid ourselves of that idea. Now, you and I are not going to say, oh, black people aren't human. Indigenous people aren't human. We're not going to say that. We don't think that. But in our culture, in the inheritance that we have and that collective unconsciousness, that is there. And that explains why men and women who go into police work, who want to be guardians of the peace and justice, who have good hearts, end up in situations where they are violent toward peaceful protesters of color, and they turn a blind eye to unpeaceful rioters who are white. There is no other true explanation except for that. We have to see that if we are going to change that. So that's a level of seeing. The Celts have a figure called, sorry, I don't speak Gaelic, but Cailleach Hag. And the Cailleach Hag is the queen of winter. She rules the winds and the storms. She's a veiled woman. It's hard to see her. But she also is the mother of the gods. So another way of saying that would be the mother of life, the mother of power. And yet, she looks very uncomfortable, like the Hindu Kali, a destructor, but also a creator. We have to see both sides of that. We have to be willing to tolerate the winters of our lives. I'm reading a book right now called Wintering by Catherine May is her name. And as I was reading the jacket on there, it talked about how she is an autistic professor. And there was something about that that just shocked me, because I realize I have a stereotype about autism. And it had never really occurred to me that there could be someone so educated as to be a professor, let alone writing this amazing book, who was also autistic. And as I was reading more about her, she talked about how difficult it has been for her to navigate her way through the world socially, how she doesn't get the cues that others get so easily. And yet, she doesn't want to be something different. She doesn't want to be not autistic. If there were something that she could do that would take that all away, she doesn't want it, because it is part of who she is. So we have to be able to see one another and ourselves for who we are, not just the pretty glitzy parts. We have to be able to see what others or we might consider our flaws or the difficult parts or our mistakes even. My brother and I were talking yesterday, and he was reminding me of the Star Trek episode where Jean-Luc Picard was, I would call it in the bardo, that place in between alive here on this earth and not. And in the bardo, he has this experience where he has an artificial heart, and that is part of what is causing him to linger in the bardo, and there is question about whether he will heal. And he's given the opportunity to go back in time to the point where he lost his heart and had to have an artificial heart. And it happened when he was a young 20-something and kind of wild and crazy and out with a bunch of friends and got into some kind of brawl with intergalactic ruffians, and his heart was stabbed in that process and was replaced with an artificial heart, which was now being crushed and perhaps would have been able to withstand the injury he was dealing with if it weren't artificial. So he was given the opportunity to imagine that he didn't go into that brawl. He spoke to his friends and said, let's not do this. Let's be wise, because even though he still looks to them like one of them, a young man, inside and looking out, he is the older, wiser man who realizes that, brawls are not so smart. So in that remake, he doesn't go into the brawl. He is not injured. And then he gets to fast forward in time to what does that little course correction create in his life? And now he's in his 40s, and he's wondering, why can't he get a promotion to Starfleet Command? It is being denied him. And he's told, you just don't have that fire in the belly that you need, that ability to take chances, to just go into death. He got that back at the age of 20 when he took a chance and went into the brawl. And yes, he had an injury, but it forged that fire in him and that knowing that he could move through that and still survive. We cannot change our histories, and we should not look at them and be ashamed of ourselves. Whatever is in our history can be what creates the fire in our belly or other qualities that are so wonderful. We have to see ourselves as whole. I wonder if we look at COVID-19 and all the difficulties that have come up during this time in 2020 and don't seem to be letting up as 2021 comes in. How are we seeing this year? And how might we see it if we weren't dividing things into good and bad? If we were instead curious, what might we see? There's a woman, she lived in the 1800s. Her name was Mary Bowman. She was born a slave in Richmond, Virginia. And to her fortune, she was born into a family of slaves that was owned by a Quaker family. And all of her family ended up being freed by this family because they did not believe in slavery, or came not to believe in slavery. And Beth, the woman that had been the owner, saw promise in Mary, and she taught her to read. Now, at the time, that was a dangerous act. Not only Mary, but Beth could have been killed for that. But she taught her in secret, and Beth ended up leaving as she grew up, and she went to Liberia, which was a new country at the time of freed slaves, and she was a teacher there. But she ended up coming back in her early 20s to marry her sweetheart. And a year after her marriage, Beth came to her because Beth had organized a huge network of spies for the Union. And she asked Mary to be a spy. She had found out that the wife of Jefferson Davis, who was the president of the Confederate States, was looking for a new person on the staff. And so she asked Mary if she would go right in there and be a spy. And Mary agreed, because she, much as she wanted to just have a happy married life with her husband, she wanted to be a force that would help to change the world that she lived in and to allow other people like her to be free. It was a very dangerous mission. She went through great loneliness. She went through being demeaned. She went through danger. But she was the perfect person for this role because not only could she read, but she had a photographic memory. So she would go into the office of Jefferson Davis, and as she's cleaning his desk and polishing, she is reading everything that is on his desk. All the messages from his army generals that had already been decoded for him. And so she had all this information that she was able to get out to the spy network. She played a huge role in the Union and in their ability to win the war. But nobody knew what she was doing because they could not see her. They could only see the act that she put on of shuffling and acting like she was stupid and claiming that, oh no, she couldn't read. How would she be able to read? When she was caught one time looking at a magazine, she just claimed, oh, she's so sorry. She's just looking at these pictures. They're so pretty. And they could not see past that. It never occurred to them that they had a dangerous spy in their midst because of their prejudice. So where are we not seeing others who deserve to be seen? Where are we not seeing their gifts? Where are we only seeing what we want to see. I have two sisters that don't always get along. They both have the same complaint. They feel unseen by the other. They feel like the other one is in a competition with them. One person says, "Oh, you're the life of the party. You're so creative." And that sister is the life of the party, and she is creative. But the other sister can't see that she's also highly organized. The sister that's creative and life of the party and highly organized can't see that the other one is exhausted from caring for my mother. She can't see the level of responsibility that she has. She can only see her own problems. Where are we so focused on ourselves and our reality that we don't see what is true for somebody else? I've noticed for myself, I've noticed this with my husband for a long time, and recently I noticed it with another person, someone on our board named Penny, who a lot of you know. Both of them have something in common. They're very, very detail-oriented and very organized. And I often get overwhelmed by details. And because they have this skill, and they have it developed so well, sometimes when they start talking to me and they start sharing these details, I get so overwhelmed that it's all that I can see about them. And then I get surprised by other aspects of them. When Penny and I were sitting here in the foyer and we were giving out candles and rocks to anybody who came by for the ceremonies, she was talking to me about someone that she had had a conversation with. And I was just taken aback by the depth of her emotional awareness and compassion. It's not that I didn't think she had that. It's just that I had not seen it because I was so focused on a different quality of hers. And I've had that experience often with my husband, where he will make a comment, and I am just astonished at the depth of emotional awareness that he has. And I want to be better. I want to be better at seeing the wholeness of people, and not just the part that's easy, that's right there on the surface. We are all complex beings, and there is more to us than what we just see on the surface. I had a really profound experience back all the way to the beginning of this talk, and I'm telling you about how I took the upset of this one individual and I'm taking it into meditation and contemplating for myself. And my meditation, ever since I got my Christmas tree up, has been in front of the Christmas tree because I love the lights so much. And as I was looking at the lights, I was thinking about, yes, I am the light. I am the light of the world, as are you. But as I was looking at the tree, it wasn't just one light on the tree. It's all of those lights, right? And I realized the light of me is not singular. It includes all of these unseen beings that are part of my team. I'm the one incarnated, but I'm not single. All of these light beings walk with me. And the same is true for you. You are not alone. And even on this earth, each one of us, this spiritual community, is all of us, all of our lights walking together, making this beautiful tree of life. There is a line in the gospel where Jesus asks his disciples, who do people think that I am? And they say, well, some people think you're Moses reincarnated, and some people think you're Elijah. And Moses represented the law, and Elijah represented the prophets, and those were the two pillars of the Jewish faith. So they were saying to him, some people think that you are one, people think you are the other. And he said, well, who do you think I am? And Peter, who represents the faith, the ability to see what is real, Peter says, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And that was the answer that Jesus wanted to hear. He wanted to be seen as the incarnation of divine light that he was. Where we've gone wrong in Christianity is mistaking him as singular, the only incarnation of the living God. He was here to teach us that we are all that incarnation. We are all the living light, here to make a difference. So this week, as you go forward, and perhaps there are still Christmas lights out that will remind you, when you see lights, please remember, you are not what others are able to see. You are not your histories. You are not your flaws. You are not your gifts. You are all of it combined. You are so much more. You are the light of the world. Namaste.
You're feeling nervous, aren't you, boy? With your quiet voice and impeccable style. Don't ever let them steal your joy and your gentle ways to keep them from running wild. They can kick dirt in your face, dress you down, and tell you that your place is in the middle when they hate the way you shine. I see you're tugging on your shirt, trying to hide inside of it and hide how much it hurts. Let them laugh while they can. Let them spin. Let them scatter in the wind. I have been to the movies. I've seen how it ends. And the joke's on. Don't you, girl? It's your brother's world for a while longer. You gotta dance with the devil on the river to beat the stream. Call it living the dream. Call it kicking the ladder. They come to kick dirt in your face, to call you weak, and then displace you after carrying your baby on your back across the desert. I saw your eyes behind your hair, and you're looking tired, but you don't look scared. So let them laugh while they can. Let them spin, let them scatter. I've seen how it ends, and the joke's on them. Let 'em laugh while they can. Let 'em spin. Let 'em scatter in the wind. I have been to the movies. I've seen how it ends. And the joke's on them. The joke's on them.
Oh, that's just beautiful. That's so beautiful. Oh, wow. So I have a few announcements I want to share with you that I'm pretty excited about. One is, from now on, if you want to be on Zoom, or if you want to join us for the Zoom party as we're finishing, all you have to do is go to unitycentraloregon.org to the live stream area and click a button and you're in. It's so easy. So thank you to our technical team, Nico and Kevin, for making that possible. Woo! Tonight we have our health and wellness ministry is bringing in a woman named Darla Clare. She is the author of a book, I Changed My Mind and It Changed My Life. And it's all about breaking free from the inner voice that wants to sabotage our life and our plans. So if you can possibly get there for 6:30, I think it'll be a really wonderful presentation. Also, this Saturday, Serenity Snow, who was a speaker a few weeks ago, is having her mindset mastery. And I'll put the details of that in our newsletter, or you can contact Serenity directly. But it's Saturday, January 16th from 9 to 12. And it's only $25. So you're going to get a lot of tools from practical psychology, from breath work, law of attraction, and so much more. So it's really aimed at helping you to have breakthroughs in the area of prosperity. Next week, our speaker and musician is going to be Karen Drucker. So that's going to be, she is so fabulous and so generous. You know that song that we often sing, I Am So Blessed? That is one of hers. She's a wonderful human being, and I hope that you will be there. She'll be present on Zoom, so you'll be able to chat with her as well. Also, for those of you who are interested in becoming members, I know I've been dragging my feet since the summer, but I'm ready, and we've got a new process for this. We have a new membership page on our website, and all the information that was previously part of the class is right there on the website. So you can either read it or you can listen to that is going to be on January 25th, 5:30. So you can go to the membership page and sign up that way. And it's really very easy. And finally, we have an annual meeting coming up on February 21st. It'll be at 11:30 after the service, so please mark it on your calendar now and plan to be there. We have a huge surprise for you that we're going to be unveiling at this annual meeting, and you will not want to miss it. So just clear the calendar, mark it there, plan to be there. So that's all the announcements. Let's just move into a time of appreciation. Oh, we have so much to be grateful for. I invite you to give your donations in the way that works for you. And know that as you do that, you are feeding all of this. You have been our ventilator system through this whole pandemic because you are breathing life into us. And like Claire was saying at our board retreat yesterday, she doesn't ever want to lose track that it's us. We are the community. It isn't the leaders. We are the voices for you. So please, just know that as you make your contributions, we together are creating something beautiful that is a blessing in this world. And I thank you. I thank you for that. And let's just move over to these grateful musicians who can't stop making music.
I got gratitude in my heart. I got gratitude in my soul. I just want to say thank you, thank you. I just want to say thank you, thank you. I just want to say thank you for it all. I got gratitude in my heart. I got gratitude in my soul. I just want to say thank you, thank you. I just want to say thank you, thank you. I just want to say thank you for it all. Thank you for it all. Thank you for it all.
Our prayer together from the love of pure spirit within us. We bless these gifts. We send them forth to heal, bless, and prosper. They are evidence of our faith and belief. They do good work in this world and return to us multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Thank you so much. And let's end with the prayer of protection. Let's just say it all together. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love of God. The power of God protects me. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, because I am.
The light of God surrounds me. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love of God. The power of God protects me. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Because I am. I got gratitude in my heart. I got gratitude in my soul. I just want to say thank you. Thank you. I just want to say thank you. Thank you. I just want to say thank you.